Hey everyone, welcome to My Own Private Kokomo, your every other daily dose of beach life, where we can do whatever we want. I'm Ryan Meharry. With me, as always, is Dave Tooney. He's just joining us.
Hello.
Guys, we got a very, very fun show for you. I'm stressed out from it already. It was an idea I had pretty last minute last night. It's going to be a lot of fun, though. We've got some great people here to help us out. Farley, Elliott, and Matt Newell. Say hi, guys.
Hello.
Hey.
And also coming back to be our host today is Drew DeFonso Marks. So to basically run down what we're doing real quick, and I can vamp for Dave.
You're doing great.
So today we're going to do our own cooking show. Now, in a cooking show, the judges are allowed to taste the food, but because we are all social distancing, that can't happen. So the contestants today are going to have to convince the judges that the food is actually awesome. Your contestants today are Dave. We've been cooking all morning, whipping up something great. Our judges will be Farley and Matt, and Drew, ever the professional, will be our host. We slapped this together a little last minute, but it should be a lot of fun. It's going to be insane.
Great.
Dave, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
It sounds like Dave is still in the process of slapping this together.
Oh, I literally just got this done under the wire. Well, it's hard to time these things out. You want it to look good and fresh and all of that. And I think I got it. We'll see. We'll see what the judges think. But
Okay.
Enough from me. Let's toss it over to Drew. Dave, we got a few seconds while Drew can vamp. And are you ready, Dave?
Uh-huh.
All right, Drew, take us away.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first ever episode within the episode of My Own Private Kokomo. I promise it's good. An online cooking show through social distancing. Because if we can't hang out with our buds, that also applies to our taste buds. So the way this is going to work, ladies and gentlemen, a little backstory. I read a text message from Ryan Meharry asking me if I would do this show. I had just woken up and really didn't read the text that well. Thought I was going to come on and be myself, not host a show. So here we are. Each contestant is going to prepare their dish, and they're going to show through arguments and presentation how it's going to work. The judges will secretly write down their grades from 1 to 10 on each argument, and will reveal at the end. That's right? Yeah, that sounds right. We'll go with that.
Right. Do we have to write them down? Can I just remember?
You can just remember.
Okay, great. I will remember. I don't have anything. I don't have a pen.
Let me introduce our first judge. Let's see. We got a little intro here. A man so experienced with food that if you think you're a foodie, this guy is a food F. That's one more than a foodie. Food writer Farley Elliott, senior editor of Eater LA. Farley.
Hey, thanks for having me. First time fan, long time non-fan. Excited to be here.
Farley,
It is for most people.
Farley, what are you looking for in today's competition? What do you look for in a great dish?
Well, for me, obviously presentation, especially in a format like this, is going to be very important. But I'm also, because it sounds like this was extremely last minute, I'm looking forward to seeing a little bit of ingenuity, what people had to work within their home kitchens. I imagine, based on these two idiots, not much.
Great. And now, normally this would be an insane question, but I think it applies for the rules of a social distancing cooking show. Farley, what's your favorite food you've never had?
Oh, I would say those like outdoor grilled lobsters that they make in the Caribbean.
Sure. All right. Up next, friend of the show, as we like to call him, the woodsman of Los Feliz, Matt Newell.
I don't live there.
Matt Newell.
Okay. Is there even Woods there? How's it going? Hey, thanks for having me. I love the show. Longtime fan, first time non-fan.
Of Kokomo, or I promise it's good.
All of it. I love it. This is my. I thought it was Kokomo theme, so I put a Hawaiian shirt on. But some of you have ties on. Some of you have. Yeah, this is great.
Well, sounds like we're ready to do the show.
Can I ask were there any like parameters for them? Did you guys say, did it have to be a breakfast or did it have to include?
No rules.
Who found
No
out
rules. We had to present it. We had to
about
make
10
it.
minutes ago. I'll tell you, there are no rules whatsoever.
Okay, no rules.
And if there were parameters, I'm sure Dave and Meharry did not talk about them.
Great.
So,
Okay, great.
It's like UFC. There's no rules.
You can't. There's a few. There's a few
There's a
rules.
ton
though.
of rules in the
Yeah.
UFC.
You
There
can't
are
fish
so
hook. You
many
can't
rules. This is
bring a
the
gun.
Meharry texted me this morning. There are so many rules.
there are rules.
All right. Well, let's get on with the show, huh? Up first.
Hungry.
Yeah, up first, we're going to be going to one of our very own hosts of My Private Kokomo, Ryan Miso Harry.
Hey everyone, my name is Ryan Meharry. I'm a single stepfather from Kansas City, Missouri, the most rockin' town in the world, and I'm a rock and roll chef.
Great, love it. Also,
I'm formulating.
Yeah. Matt, I forgot to ask you, what's your favorite food you've never had?
I don't know. I'm afraid it's like human. So yeah, that's why I don't ever want it. Because I'm afraid I'm gonna love it too much.
Wow. This
But I've never had it.
turn. All right, Meharry. What do you got for us? Want to talk more about food or being a stepdad?
Just real quick, Drew's a mix of a game show host, but also a late night talk show host.
Absolutely.
It'd be so weird if Alex Trebek constantly took sips of coffee from the podium at Jeopardy.
Guys, I just woke up. My hair's still wet from the shower.
Right, I'm ready to present.
All right. So Meharry is going to present his food through presentation and then argue while he eats it how good it is, trying to convince the judges that it is delicious. So judges, don't reveal your scores from 1 to 10, but don't reveal them. Meharry?
Good afternoon, chefs. Today, in these trying times, I think we're all seeking comfort, the foods that we grew up with. And as I mentioned before, I grew up in Kansas City, Missouri. And the staple food there is barbecue. Now, I thought today I could make ribs, I could do some brisket, maybe burn ends, but the most rock and roll food at a barbecue is a cheeseburger. And what better side dish to go with a rock and roll cheeseburger than some rock and roll bacon cheese fries. So folks, I present to you a cheeseburger with home-bought bun and home-bought pickles and bacon cheese fries, homemade. The bacon was cooked in a sous vide bath for 16 hours. And to wash it all down, I have a birthday cake shake. Judges, you will now watch me eat. Oh, did you need to see anything else? Did you need to see any more of the food before
I personally would love to see, just pull up one fry. I want to see what one fry is like.
Oh, one fry? Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see here.
It's the best fry.
Okay.
Okay, there you
Got
go.
it.
Would you like
Got
to see? Would you like to see any more of the burger before I bite in?
Matt?
No. Go ahead. Let's see it. I want to see the middle of it.
Okay. All right. Here we go.
There's one thing people love, it's people chewing on the internet.
Oh my god. It's really good. Yeah, I'll show you some more in a second. Hold on. There's, okay, there. Delicious, perfect medium. Oh my God. Oh, that's so good. Here, I gotta try these fries.
Disgusting. The sound is so gross.
Can you chew a little closer to the mic?
Yeah. Oh my God. Those are the best fries I've ever had.
Now, can you describe for me how crispy the fries are?
They're so crispy.
Yeah, okay.
They're
How'd
so,
you make
so
them?
crispy.
Let's talk about how you did everything. I want to know. Yeah, you
Yeah,
sous
sure, hold
vide
on.
that bacon
I'm gonna have to do it
for
between bites,
16
right?
hours. Which seems not the best way to cook bacon.
Oh no. It's the best way to do it. No one tell you what.
Is it just not? Is it crispy at all?
The bacon? Yeah, well, what
Yeah.
you do is you sous vide cook it, and that gets it perfect. And then you toss it in the pan for 2 minutes. 2 minutes just to get it nice and crispy.
Okay.
And then you've got the best bacon you've ever had. And on top of the best fries.
Wow.
That I've had. These are delicious.
Did you fry them?
I put them in the oven.
Ooh, oven fries. Love
Bacon.
that.
Yeah.
And my oven door, my oven handle broke off. And so
So they're in there a little longer, huh?
yeah, well, that was on purpose.
Mhm.
That's Kansas City style. It's the most rock and roll way to make fries. And now for the shake.
Oh yeah, what's in a birthday cake shake? Is it a birthday cake ice cream?
It's birthday cake ice cream with milk, hand scoops.
All right.
Now,
I
did
wanna
you actually
do this.
blend that up, or did you just put scoops into milk and then into a glass?
I blended it up. It was home blended, and oh my! All together, this is a rock and roll classic American Kansas City meal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What do you call it?
Rock and roll, baby.
Rock and roll baby burgers and fries. Got it.
In the business, that's what we call an alley-oop and a biff.
Did you have something I should have called it?
Nope.
Okay. Judges, do you have any immediate feedback for me before you jot down your scores?
So what's on in the burger? I just went, no, I don't think so. I mean, this is weird. I don't know.
So good. Do you have any questions about how good it is? I can tell you. It's probably it's the best burger I've ever had, best fries I've ever had.
There's cheese on it? What kind of cheese is on it?
Home-bought American cheese.
Home bought.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
But
What is home bought? Is that store bought? I don't understand what home bought is.
I bought it and brought it home.
So store bought. Okay. I feel like that's I never heard.
No, that's not incorrect. It does, because that doesn't have the word home in it.
You're right.
Yeah. My immediate feedback is that you should change large swaths of your entire life.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah. I will say this:
I get that joke a lot.
you do seem to be enjoying it. What I think there's a balance of like he's enjoying it for the camera and he's also just enjoying it. And I think you really do seem to like the burger you've made.
Mm-hmm. It's delicious. It really is a top flight burger. All jokes aside, and honestly, the fries are great. I mean, you can't really go wrong with bacon cheese fries. It's amazing.
Yeah. I have one question about the patty, the burger patty, and then I'm done. Was it a store-bought patty? Did you buy steak and chop it up? Is it a blend that you worked out? What's the actual meat itself?
It is actually Kobe beef, store-bought and then brought home to be made. It was already in the circle, ready to go. Mm-hmm. But
So
just
do you
like it comes
your
off the
hamburgers
cow.
in a circle? You usually buy the circle hamburgers, right?
Yeah, the circle ones. I usually buy them spheres. No, but I mixed it. I don't want to give away too much, but or I guess all of it. I mixed it with Dijon mustard and some onion powder.
Wow.
and then sprinkled with salt and pepper
And is it pan fried or is it on the grill?
on the grill.
On the grill, okay.
Grilled burger, Kansas City, baby, all the way.
Right. Kansas City
Sounds
grilled
very
burgers.
rock and roll. Yeah.
That is rock and roll. Yeah, early morning grilling.
I'm a rock and roll chef.
Got it. No further questions for me.
Yeah, I think I'm good. Oh, what do you put on your burger? I'm just curious what all you got on there. You got lettuce. You got pickles and mustard.
I like mine with lettuce and tomato. No, Heinz 57, but I do have fried potatoes. I've got a pickle on there and Dijon mustard.
Okay.
Interesting.
I meant to also put bacon on the burger, but I ran out of time. It was noon.
Okay.
So I think that actually some points too of what I wanted to do.
Got it.
Now, judges, just a reminder, you're also grading on the introduction, which is a lot of this rock and roll character guy. So would you want to hang out with that early morning rock and roll Kansas City breakfast dude?
So we're judging on we're three.
Hold on, I didn't know that was being judged.
Is that not what you said? The introduction and the food?
The presentation.
I'm sorry, the presentation. Right.
Yeah,
this
No,
presentation.
what the food looks like, Drew. I
What
think
the
not.
food looks like.
Yeah. Not the presenter.
Yes.
Drew, admit it right now. You've never eaten at a restaurant.
A restaurant? What?
Yeah, I'm not. I don't even know where to begin. I can't imagine what you think I do for a living.
You're a food writer. You write about food, like fanfics for food. Like what this food could be, what that food could be.
Yeah, how they know each other. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's move on to our second contestant. You know him as the host of My Private Kokomo, the only man whose last name is as bold as his mustache, David Thune.
Hey everyone, good to see you all here today. Thanks for tuning in to My Own Private Kokomo. Glad to see you once again. I'm Dave Tooney, or Thune. I'm also an LA resident, like the rest of you, at least the rest of you here in this podcast.
Podcast.
I mean, video cast.
Point off for me, and I'm not even judging.
Okay, fair enough. You may have noticed that I'm a little dressed up today. Not the norm for a lot of us who are staying at home day after day. But I thought today, you know what? I'm going to dress up. And even though we can't go and travel to our favorite restaurants across Los Angeles, I'm going to bring some of that Los Angeles food right here to my very own kitchen. One of the places I love to go is to a good ramen shop. All right. Hard to get good ramen at home, you know, in those little plastic packets and whatnot. Not very good. You want to travel out, but you can't because we're quarantined. So I thought I'd take us on a little adventure outside, but in. So dress up, put on some lipstick, and let's go dancing. Okay, but first before dancing, we go to eat food. All right. What I've got for us today is, once again, ramen. All right. I've got a vegetable noodle soup with ginger miso broth. I'm not a meat guy at the moment, so I made some alterations to this little dish, but I'm going to show it to you before we get going here. I'm going to get this going. I'm going to aim this a little differently. This is my vegetable noodle soup with ginger miso broth. It's packed pretty tightly into this bowl. I don't have a really big bowl, so I'll go into some further explanation a little bit. But this is what we are looking at. See that there?
Now I just want to be clear. You said that this is a soup?
There's some broth in there. I had to once again pack it pretty tight. Didn't have a big bowl. We've got some green onions here.
Mm-hmm.
We've got some matchsticks, carrots. I cut them into matchsticks, just for fun. We've got some snow peas right here, also cut into matchsticks. We've got some broccoli that's a little brown now because I had to keep it in the broth too long because I miscalculated the time and made this way too early, and it sat in the broth for longer than I wanted it to. If you dig a little deeper, we've got some soba noodles. You guys familiar with soba noodles?
Yeah, yeah,
It's a
buckwheat.
buckwheat noodle. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, let me tell you about these. All right. These are organic soba noodles, and they are, as you can see here, made in Australia, the Japanese way. So you know they're good.
Nice.
But I added, because I don't eat meat, the recipe would normally not call for anything meat or protein related, but I added my own little twist, and I added a ginger sesame marinated tofu to the mix for a little extra flavor and a little extra protein. And that's what I got going on here today. Feels like I'm out in LA. Feels like I'm out traveling around with my good friends, you, and we're all enjoying some good ramen at a local shop before we go dancing. We're going dancing.
I have a couple of questions.
Please, I have some answers.
Yeah.
You said you had ginger and soy marinated tofu. Is this something you actually marinated yourself, or does it come pre-marinated from the package?
Good question, Farley. Good question, chef. And by the way, good afternoon, chefs. Great to see you. I marinated this myself. I started the process last night. I'm going to have to read some of this because first time I ever did this. I used a little tamari, or in my case, actually, I used in place of that Bragg's liquid aminos because that's what I have in the house. I used some rice vinegar, lime juice, brown sugar, fresh ginger, some toasted sesame oil, and some sriracha, along with some thickly sliced garlic cloves.
Wow.
And I marinated the tofu overnight.
Well, I'm loving that forethought. So kudos to you on that. I do have one broad question about the concept overall.
And I've got an arrow answer.
Is it your belief that all soups with noodles are ramen instead of this just being like a soba soup?
Good question. The description in the cookbook that I use referred to it as ramen, so I went along with that.
Got it.
So
So you're
there's
not saying
generally-
like chicken noodle soup is a ramen, not to you.
That wouldn't be, unless the cookbook specifies it as a ramen, then I would say chicken noodle soup is a ramen.
Hate to interject here. So you followed a recipe from a cookbook?
I did.
Okay. All right. Just I thought that was interesting.
Is that not allowed? I do that all the time.
I don't know.
Oh, other chefs here do it all the time.
I think it's just maybe something to keep in mind that I didn't.
Okay.
Okay.
The broth,
some-
Dave. What's the broth from?
The broth is, well, it's a mix. It is a mix of some store-bought vegetable broth, low sodium, but it also includes some fresh ginger, cloves of garlic, carrots, and fresh sprigs of cilantro.
Oh, nice. So you kind of beefed up eating the beef. You took a store
beefed
bought
up
the broth.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, great.
I beefed it up a little bit. Best of both worlds, because I want to make sure that everyone understands that we don't all have all access and all the time in the world to get to places that'll give us fresh ingredients and make this on our own. We're doing the best that we can with what we've got during these times.
Did you cut those matchsticks? Did you do all the knife work and stuff?
I did all the knife work. I did all the knife work with the snow peas and the carrots and the tofu and the broccoli and the green onions. And
Dave, I got a question for you. There was a moment that I think was overlooked here when you were describing how soba noodles
Good.
were made and where they come from. Mahari, very under his breath, went, "Ew."
Yeah, gross.
How do you feel about your fellow contestant bad-mouthing you during the show?
I'm sorry, I did like a gut reaction to what you were describing. It sounded awful to me, but
Okay. Well, someone who's eating an American-made meal, he's having a problem with things that are different from what he knows and is comfortable with.
Yeah.
That
That's
seems
not
like
true.
it's right on
That's nothing to do
par.
with- that has nothing to do with it. Just the way you described it sounded so gross. And then when you actually
Yeah.
showed the picture,
Yeah, this all checks out right in line with Ryan wants to get things open very quickly. He wants us to be able to go to restaurants immediately, sit in large groups, and this all fits
Hurts my
with
mouth.
his
I never
current
said
agenda.
I never said that.
Not verbally.
Oh,
Now, Dave-
that in the biz is how you handle an alley-oop.
Dave, I do want to circle back on something you mentioned before when you were showing your bowl. You said that cutting the carrots into matchsticks was, quote, just for fun. Now, has this been a highlight of your week, cutting those carrots that way?
Hey, I'm going to be honest with you. Normally when I cut carrots, I just cut them into cubes or little chunks. I don't go that extra mile. But today I thought, hey, I'll make it
Cubes?
feel like I'm out on the streets of LA. So
Yeah.
let me go ahead and matchstick these babies. And I'll tell you what, it's been a real treat, real fun.
Good.
Yeah, a highlight.
No further
All right, should I
questions
dig
from
in?
me. Yeah, dig in.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to see you eat it.
Okay, great. Let's go ahead and
Is there a
Get
reason
in here.
that you've been stalling eating it? It seems like you've been trying to avoid it.
no, not at all. I've just been savoring it. You know how Christmas, we're all excited on Christmas Eve, and some would say Christmas Eve, that's the highlight. It's the waiting. It's the anticipation.
Yeah,
Okay,
everybody
no.
says Christmas Eve is better than Christmas.
I would get in trouble for opening all the
Yeah.
presents on December 22nd.
Wait, what? Oh,
No.
yeah, got it. I got it.
Now,
That's pretty good.
while Dave is eating his food, let's make sure to note he said he takes us all dancing.
Oh yeah.
Have
I
you guys ever
remember.
been dancing with Dave Tooney?
I can't say that I have.
I don't even have. I can't even picture him dancing.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I can't even.
Oh,
picture
you
Dave-
can't? It's a site. You should check it out.
He's always trying to go get me to go dancing with him at a teen night at the roller rink.
And not in skates. He just dances in the middle of
Yeah, just
the,
dance in the middle of the rink.
just causing chaos.
I walk out there in golf shoes.
Dave, how's your food? Tell us how.
Yeah,
it is.
let's see.
I'm going to tell you, it feels like I'm out on the town with my friends right before we go dancing. It's really fun. I'm having a good time. It's really tasty. One might say I added far too much sriracha to this dish, and it's
Like a
difficult
lot.
right now. But I'm going to say this. It's good. It's making me sweat almost as much as when I get jiggy with it later on. Okay. These chopsticks, by the way, are very slick, and it's hard to really get any food onto them or hold anything with these particular chopsticks. Not the food's fault or the chef's fault, but it is very difficult right now as I try to get food into my mouth. Mmm. Mmm. You know what? I can tell that these soba noodles were made in Australia the Japanese way. It's clear.
They've got that flavor about them.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to tell you this. The added tofu and the marinating it overnight and me taking my time and not rushing things, not waiting for the right time to have them, for the right time to businesses, for them to open up, and the right time for us to start congregating with friends and family is worth it. Not everyone thinks that way, but I sure do. Mm.
Judges, any questions?
Mm.
No, it's, I don't
Yeah,
think
I mean, I'd love to see Dave. I'd love to see the biggest possible bite Dave can take.
Mm.
Sure.
Get one of each thing. At least one of each thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey,
I don't know if you guys noticed, it looks like he's doing like these tiny little nibbles, like he's trying to eat as little of it as possible. That's what I've noticed.
Okay, rock and roll, man.
hey, you know what? I used my slotted spoon for the first time in 3 years today. It was a real treat.
What? Why? What are you waiting for? First of all, and what'd you use it on? The peas?
No.
Glenn. Jesus Christ. If Dave chokes to death in front of us right here, what?
I love that the judges asked him to take the biggest bite possible and then started hammering him with questions.
I know. Sorry.
Dave,
Also
go ahead
use
and
a
load
little
up
bit
on
of-
that bite. Yeah, go ahead and load
Also
up on
used
that
up a little
bite.
bit of miso paste on this for some extra flavor. Really is coming through here. It's really good.
Great.
All right, this is a big bite. Here we go.
All right. Get close as you can. We want to see it.
Yeah, we want to hear it too.
Yeah, want to hear that slurp.
Jesus criminy.
Guys, be careful. Oh, God.
Great. Thank you. Exactly what I wanted.
I tell you what, It feels like I'm out with my friends about to go dancing.
Do you eat a bunch of soup before dancing usually? Because I feel like.
I do.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
It makes it more exciting because then you don't know what's going to happen.
Real hard.
Okay.
Spicy hearty soups before dancing is the
Yeah, that's for jostling your stomach around.
This is hot. This is hot.
Any questions, judges?
No, I don't think so.
I think I'm pretty well prepared to make a decision.
Farley, I have a soup ramen question for you as a resident food expert. I always feel like with soup, you got to have a bit of the broth with the bite. So I'm the weirdo that uses a spoon, takes the chopsticks, puts it in the spoon, dips it in to have broth and items at the same time.
I don't think that's weird. I think that's normal.
That's
Yeah, that's pretty normal. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's what everybody does.
Yeah. I didn't
Right.
think about that until you just said it. That's a good idea. That is what is normally done. Great idea.
No further questions from me.
What? I forget what I was going to ask. I was going to ask something. I can't remember.
All
we
right.
just have two things we're scoring, right?
Well,
that's what I was going to ask. There wasn't a third thing, right? I thought
Presentation and argument.
presentation
Okay, great.
and
That's
argument.
right.
Hey, before we get to that, I have a question.
Yeah.
This is for Farley. This is for the chefs. The chefs, can you give us a good, for people who live in LA, once it opens back up, can you give us a good burger joint that you like and a good ramen place that you like?
Matt?
A burger place. There's a place near me. Burgers Never Say Die is really good, and there's no more lines because they've been open for a while. They got really good burgers. Ramen is there. I think lots of. What's the one in Modon? I think maybe is the name of it. I haven't been in there in a while, but and then Silver Lake Ramen I also love. Those are the only two ones I can think of. Yeah, Farley probably knows more cooler ones.
Cooler is relative. I would say if you guys want like a classic big burger experience, you could always get down to Hawkins House of Burgers in Watts. What's that, Ryan?
a rock and roll burger.
Yeah, this place is rock and roll in that it's owned by an amazing Black family and is across the street from the Grape Street Crips. Pretty rock and roll. Very delicious, classic LA burger. Gigantic. You're gonna wait 40 minutes. It's like messy and wonderful. For ramen, I'm gonna go the Dave Tooney route and assume that any noodle and broth, if it comes from Asia, is a ramen. So there's Daikokuya in Little Tokyo. I would say 2 doors down is a place called Marugumi Manzo, where they make their own udon noodles, and then they do udon soup as a result, and it's very, very delicious.
Awesome.
All right.
I also have a quick question for Farley.
Oh, Ron.
Oh no! Did you spill your whole soup?
No, that was close though. It did go into the snow peas.
It'd be very interesting if Dave was throwing his food away from him, what that would mean. Farley, with so many restaurants, now doing like takeout and delivery only, have there been any other places that have kind of used this situation to like innovate in some ways, trying different things? Anything exciting going on with any LA restaurants?
There you go. To be honest with you, exciting is a tough word. Absolutely nobody is making money. Most people who are open right now are just trying to put together enough cash flow to be able to continue to pay like healthcare for their workers. There are people who are innovating, and I think that that's maybe one of the silver linings you're going to see come out of this whole pandemic thing is a return almost to like street food culture, that sort of Kogi 2009, like we're going to do inexpensive, really flavorful food and just like pop up in like a micro way in a given neighborhood. And other people are also really turning to Instagram if they can't create a physical experience to give people an online experience. There's a really awesome bar in Boyle Heights called Jelas that has like DJ nights, and then they have like hosted conversations about plant-based Mexican food because they know that like Black and brown people have been disproportionately affected by the pandemic, and so they're trying to become a rallying point for those communities when sort of nobody else in the mainstream media is really talking about it. I think that's the kind of stuff that we're going to be able to see get us through these really difficult times.
Awesome. Matt, have you had any takeout or delivery experiences so far that you've liked?
What I love that places are doing cocktails to go. Like almost every place, like Hippo does it in our area, and we had Little Dom's last night. We ordered takeout from them. I think we forget that we can get takeout from restaurants that we used to just go sit down at. But and it was great. It was so nice to have Little Dom's. We hadn't had it in so long, and they were doing like batch cocktails, which I fucking love. I love. I hope that never stops.
Well, one of the things they've been realizing is that teenagers are just like dialing up Postmates and then saying, "Yes, I'm 21," and getting a ton of delivery alcohol.
I know.
So
it's gonna be
hard.
But they make every time I've done it, I've had to show my ID. So I've had alcohol delivered quite frequently, and they've. Well, actually, I don't want to. But there was one place the other day that I had it, and the guy was like, "I don't know." And then I was like, but also I realized half the time I have a fucking face mask on. So they don't even know whose picture I'm showing.
Yeah.
So it could be just a teenager with their mom's or dad's ID, with a face mask. But I think it's fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for our third surprise lightning round of the competition called Change and Reservation. Harry and Dave know how quickly the restaurant business is moving and popping, and you got a table for 5, but that table for 6 shows up, and suddenly the kitchen has got to make a sudden lightning meal. So Harry and Dave are going to run to their kitchens as fast as they can and whip up whatever they can.
Oh my gosh.
They have 2 minutes. It could be a pear. It could be a soda. The clock is ticking. And this is going to help change the tide for any decisions the judges may have already made.
Are you kidding me?
Now, Drew, I want to ask you a question. You live in a different part of Los Angeles than the rest of us. What's your restaurant scene like? Have you guys been cooking at home every day? Are you still getting takeout and delivery where you are?
We do pretty much cook at home, breakfast, lunch, order most dinner. And the Postmates you can get a lot, but it's certainly like, it could be Monday at like 9:45 and there's nothing to get.
Right.
It can be tricky. Yeah, we live in a delivery, not dead zone, but it's not ideal by any means.
Yeah. Are you guys picking up at all, or you're just staying at home and
We're
letting
doing
whatever comes to you?
total lazy lockdown. We're day 49, I think, of not leaving the house.
Wow.
Yeah, except to walk the dogs.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not that bad. It's it's certainly not a complaint, but it's definitely not like much as LA.
You guys have enough space that you can get your own time, right? Too.
Get our own time?
Like just separate. Like it's not like I think me and Mary, we like take turns going on walks just to get some to listen to a podcast and not always be.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I don't know where my girlfriend is right now.
Yeah.
All right, Dave is back, and it was a race. So already Dave's won. Oh, Harry's back.
Right.
It's so rock and roll to be late, I guess.
I love that.
Roll. Maher, you went first last time, so let's go to our private Kokomo host, Dave Tooney. What do you got for us in our lightning round reservation change?
Who'd like a big old bowl of Cheerios? Huh? Multi-grain Cheerios.
Is there actually
soy milk?
There is a real milk in there. Okay, good.
Absolutely. It's vanilla soy milk. So it's a little extra flavor, a little extra fun for everybody.
Take a bite.
The old dance floor.
Take a bite.
Take a bite. And as you're doing that, I want you to immediately answer my question. What are you planning to do immediately after as an activity once you've had this bowl of cereal? If it's soup and dancing, what's your post-cereal routine?
If it's soup and dancing, my post-cereal routine is a little hot yoga. 40 to 90 minutes.
Very LA of you.
Mostly inverted, mostly upside down stuff. Yeah, that's what I like to do.
Love that. Cool.
Any questions, judges, on the reservation change before we jump to Mahari?
Yeah, those are just no. Looks good.
Great.
Pretty straightforward.
All right. Mahari.
All right. This is something that if that I would serve at any of the heavy speakeasies that I go to still, with that have jam-packed concerts. This is a charcuterie with crackers and shishito peppers.
It's pretty good. Big two peppers on the side.
Are those shishito peppers something you would normally cook, like say sear quickly, or are you happy to eat a big one raw right now?
I think like if you're gonna have them like blistered or something, that sounds kind of, I don't know, lame to me, a little too folksy. I like to bite into them raw, baby.
Take a big bite of everything.
Yeah.
Get a piece of
Huh?
meat and
What's that?
cheese and pepper. Yeah, all
Dave's
one bite.
eating his food. You got to eat all your food.
Wrap it around that pepper.
All right. Well, I only have crackers, the meat and the shishito, so I'll take.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah.
No cheese. Oh, hell yeah. That's perfect. That's exactly what you want to eat after a burger.
Okay. Your reaction has now changed my mind about your other reaction. About
Oh, yeah?
yeah. Now I know. Like that couldn't have tasted good.
Anyway, that is not bad. It's actually good. It is good.
Okay.
Not exactly what I would eat right after a burger and cheese fries and a shake, but good nonetheless.
Yeah. Better than, is it better than ramen and cereal? Because those two.
Oh,
I call them bowl buddies.
Oh, you got a fun name
All
for
right.
it.
Judges, that's been reservation change or change of reservation. All right, let's go to our reviews. Up first was Meharry with his rock and roll burger, bacon fries, and then a charcuterie board. Matt, what are your thoughts on this? Let's grade it out.
Well, I thought it looked great right from the top. The burger looked good. It wasn't too. I mean, we didn't get a good shot of it, but it looked plated well. And yeah, so I gave presentation. We're just telling the score now. Is that what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Okay. I gave the presentation an 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Great. Is someone keeping tally?
The argument. I don't know. Maybe the host.
Keep going.
And then the argument. Well, I think it was probably the argument was too hard. I think he did enjoy it, but I think the argument he sold it too hard for me, so I gave him a 7 for the argument.
All right, an 8.
Sorry,
and a
buddy.
7 for Meharry.
And then what about that last thing? What does that even mean? What do we do?
That affects your overall score.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, we're good. Yeah, we got it.
Got it. Okay, good.
All right,
Okay.
Farley, before you give your score, I got a text message from a high school friend that says, does Farley have a painting in the background of a bikini front wedge?
I do not, but I will get one for next week's episode if I'm allowed back.
Okay, because whatever that is, I think he thinks that's what that is. Anyhow, what are your scores?
I will say, in terms of presentation, I do think there was a little bit left to be desired. The cheese wasn't completely melted on the fries. The burger, nice, but I like something a little bit more composed.
Wow.
Yeah. So in that sense, I'm going to have to go a 5 on presentation. But in terms of believability, I think there was some playfulness with the rock and roll character, but I do think he really liked it. And so in that sense, I'm going to go an 8, a little higher than that.
All right. And your thoughts on the charcuterie board?
Charcuterie board, boy, it's really hard to whip something together in sub 2 minutes, but I guess if you've got a bunch of raw peppers lying around, then you could pretty much make a meal. So good on him.
All right. Okay.
Thank you, Chef.
Okay. We all remember those scores. All right, Dave Tooney. Let's go with Dave. Matt, thoughts on Dave's presentation review and Cheerios?
other than the size of the bowl, I thought it looked beautiful. Like, you know, all the vegetables spread on top, and that was a very beautiful looking
small.
bowl of ramen. And without the ramen noodles. I gave his presentation a 9, and I think Dave really undersold his. I think the argument wasn't I think, I don't know what I'm saying. What was my first score? 9?
I only
I wrote it
remember
down.
the total.
I'm trying to remember.
15.
I wrote it down here.
8 and
9.
7.
Oh, yeah.
8 and 7.
And I would say that he sold it okay, but less than the I think it was I'll give it a fucking 8. 7, a 9 and an 8, and then an 8 and a 7 for Ryan. Yeah,
and your thoughts on the Cheerios?
I mean, that's it probably tasted better than Ryan's, but it didn't look better. So that's why I think it broke even there. Those two they canceled each other out on that.
Fair, very fair. All right, Farley.
I'll say presentation for Dave. You got to get a bigger bowl. I think it's too much. We want to see it. We want to see it horizontal. I don't need things vertical. I don't need you going to the bottom of the bowl for an attempt at finding a noodle. So I got to go 7 on presentation there.
Yeah.
It looked good. It just needed some work. And I will say, in terms of your argument, I'm not really buying this lifestyle. I don't think you're out dancing all the time. Frankly, I don't think you're out hanging out with friends in Los Angeles.
I'm not.
Yeah, exactly. So I think
I'm not
it's
dancing.
Yeah. I'm more likely to believe you're doing hot yoga and eating nut milks. So I'm going to have to go 7, I think, on overall argument. The Cheerios were a nice addition. It is technically a more composed dish. You're putting 2 ingredients together to create a third different thing. So I'd give a little bit of an edge over the charcuterie plate for that.
All right.
Yeah, this is all fair.
Scores have been in and tallied. Hold on, this can't be right. My tally says it's 28-31, but that can't be right because it was a max of 20 per person. No, because it was 20 per guy.
Yeah.
All right, coming in at 28 points to 31 points. We have a winner, Dave Tooney.
What?
We can buy, only winning by 4 points.
Some would say 3 points.
3 points.
I think it was 6 points.
28-31, a narrow win. Dave, what do you have to say for yourself?
Buds, I know how we're gonna go celebrate.
Congrats, Dave.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been I Promise It's Good. And just like the show, we promised this was good.
What? This was good. Congratulations, Dave. Well earned. You crushed it. Farley, Matt, thank you so much for coming on and being our guest judges for this first ever episode of I Promise It's Good. Drew, my goodness, give it up for Drew DeFonso Marks, everyone.
Thank you.
And crushing it as a host, tossing in a surprise third round, which threw us for a loop. Very, very fun. Great stuff, guys. Thank you so much. Everyone who's watching, thanks for tuning in. We will be back next week. Until then, keep going.
Yes.
Guys.
Thanks, guys.